I love books. Probably not a surprise. Books are my most favourite thing in the whole wide world. I teach lots of kids that tell me that they don't like books. Now, I find that a little bit tricky to understand because there are books about everything. There are books about Minecraft, books about football, about basketball, any sport. I think if you like anything, you must like books. I don't wonder sometimes when I hear that if it's because people find reading a little bit tricky sometimes, or if maybe they just haven't found the right book.
Does your house have lots of technology in it? iPads, phones, computers, lots of different devices and games. This book is called Goodnight, iPad, and it's by Ann Droyd. Ann Droyd? Goodnight, iPad. In the bright buzzing room, there was an iPad and a kid playing Doom and a screensaver of a bird launching over the moon. There were 3 little nooks with 10,000 books. Hang on a moment. How are there 10,000 books there? Can you figure that out? And a huge LCD Wi-Fi HD TV with Bose 5.1, 6 remotes, and 3D. What's everyone in the room doing? Is your house a bit like that sometimes? And a BlackBerry ringing with Eminem singing, and a new Facebook friend and texts with no end. Tap, 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 tap. And a viral clip of a cat doing flips, and the bings, bongs and beeps of emails and tweets. I don't think that cat really wants to be watching that. Looks a bit concerned. And a fed up old woman who was trying to sleep. Okay, that's it. Good night, iPad. No! Good night, Doom. Good night, bird launching over the moon. Good night, Nooks and digital books. Good night, Eminem. Good night, Facebook friend. Look. Good night, LOLs. Good night, MP3s. Good night, LCD Wi-Fi HD TV. Oh no. Is she going to throw that out the window? Good night, remotes and Netflix streams, Androids, apps and glowing screens. Good night, plugs and power lights that guide us to pee in the darkness of night. Okay, everyone. Bedtime. Aww. Do we have to? That's Dad. Dad sounds like a little kid. Good night, buzzing. Good night, beeps. Good night, everybody who should be asleep. Good night, pop stars. Good night, MacBook Air. Good night, gadgets. everywhere.
Thanks for joining us on Storyverse today. If you're an educator, check out our show notes with some ideas for how to use these books and themes in your classroom. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Say goodbye.